99.1 FM.
Hello and welcome to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. These are the top stories we're tracking. Ghana's failure to conduct proper gas ashore studies resulted in hundreds of millions of US dollars in annual losses. Kaieteur sells bulk sugar for half the cost of production as government looks to resuscitate junkyard factories. Video surface of gold dealer's execution. Burnt car found hours after shooting on Linden Highway. And joint services to enforce COVID-19 measures, persons will be charged for not wearing masks, and non-compliance businesses to be penalized. Get the details of these stories and much more when the news returns.
It is here, the Wake Up Guyana program with your host, Tony from Myconi, Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Kaieteur Radio, FM 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo and 99.5 in Berbice. The radio with a difference.
It's got better with 3 new apps. Watch more with PlayGo. Share more with Sportsmax. Read more news with Loop. Listen more with D-Music. Plus extra data. It's simply more bundled together. 51 gigabytes for 7 days for only $2,000. Live the experience with Digicel. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Guyana is not even aware of what it will cost to develop the gas ashore project. Yet, Vice President Dr. Bharath Jagdeo has personally decided that it is not important for Guyana to conduct an independent study of the financial viability of this project. Whether Guyana will allow the PPPC to saddle its back with a project likely to cost $1 billion on the hunch of one man remains to be seen. Ghana's failure to comprehensively study its intended gas ashore project resulted in massive gains for energy companies but hundreds of millions in annual losses for its taxpayers. Kaieteur has in recent years found itself in dire financial strains, with newly appointed CEO Sesnarai Singh now conceding that the industry currently sells bulk sugar for about half of what it costs the industry to produce. Compounding the situation, the 3 factories that Singh has been tasked with resuscitating, shuttered by the David Granger administration, are in fact now junkyards, the like of which the new CEO described as Sanford and Son type facilities. Singh went on to say that the industry currently sells sugar for just about $340 on the international market, but its production cost is closer to $600. Let's tell you now that as cops try their best to find the men who executed a popular gold dealer, Ricardo Fagundez is found in front of a popular nightclub, Palm Court, Sunday night. Footage have surfaced of the dreadful moment. Not only has the video surfaced, but cops have since located a burnt-out car at Swan Village on the Suicide Linden Highway. The car was reportedly found hours after the gold dealer's execution is believed to be the same one his executors used to get away from the scene. The government is now touting more stringent enforcement of the gazetted COVID-19 measures to ensure that citizens and business comply. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony made this revelation yesterday. It was stated that though the joint service, which includes the Guyana Police Force, and there must be increased enforcement since continued disregard of the guidelines in public space will lead to increased infections. He stated that more people would be charged for not wearing masks, suggesting that it was a practice that was already being enforced. The minister said too that police ranks would be monitoring public transportation to ensure that passengers, especially minibuses and boats, are wearing their masks. He announced too that businesses that fail to follow the guidelines will see a penalty coming their way. This is your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. Still to come, government clamps down on illegal login mining in protected areas as ministry sets aside 250 million for forest inventory database. Guyana shore base lacks skilled workers to meet oil industry needs. Kaieteur News' security guard remanded for allegedly killing homeless man. Government commits to paying $100 million advance taxes to City Hall. 2 prison escapees killed last night following a shootout in Better Hope, East Coast, Demerara. And the ministry records another COVID-19 fatality.
A lot has happened since oil was discovered in 2015. The petroleum industry is an ever-changing web of oil, gas, politics, and money. It gets complicated sometimes, but we can bring you all the latest developments and include you in the discussions here on Kaieteur Radio. So tune in to 99.1 or 99.5 FM every Tuesday night at 20 hours for Petroleum 101 with me, your host, Kamal King. Kaieteur Radio, the radio with a difference.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The Ministry of Natural Resources, in conjunction with the Protected Areas Commission, has announced plans to seize all equipment being used by illegal loggers and miners found to be operating in protected areas. In addition, it noted that legal actions will be instituted to prosecute those found guilty. The warning was made publicly yesterday by the ministry, which has since called on all miners and loggers carrying out illegal operations within the designated protected area to cease forthwith. These include areas in the Kaieteur National Park, Irokorama, the Kanuka Mountains, Shell Beach, and the Amerindian protected areas. Limited human resources is the main reason that the Guyana shore base at Houston is unable to meet the demands in the country's oil and gas industry. This is according to the base general manager Sean Hill. Our shore base is an onshore support facility that during drilling, development, maintenance, and producing operations provides service to the oil companies. Hill noted that the base is doing its best at retaining the workforce, will expand to 500 employees by year's end. He acknowledged that the shore base facility it is impossible to grasp all the necessary skills for the environment. Meanwhile, another method for the base to adequately support the oil industry, Hill said, Guyana needs to expand its shore base capabilities outside of Georgetown. The government has committed to paying $100 million in advance taxes to City Hall. During a meeting between Mayor of Georgetown, Partner Ubraj Narain, and Deputy Mayor Alfred Mentor, and a ministerial team at State House yesterday, President Irvin Ali committed to make an advance payment of the sum. President Ali and the group discussed a range of issues affecting City Hall, as well as ways of strengthening collaboration between central government and the Mayor and City Council. We tell you now that in a subsequent report this morning, the Guyana Police Force noted that 2 Mazaruni prison escapees who were killed during the shootout with police last evening at Good Hope Backlands have been identified. The dead prisoner were identified as Imran Bramsar Haq, 25, and Rayan Jones, 28. However, the third person, a woman who was killed during the shootout, is still unidentified. The bodies are presently at the Likens Funeral Home, awaiting post-mortem examination. And we tell you now that 2 of Kaieteur News' security guard were yesterday remanded to prison when they appeared in court for allegedly killing 58-year-old Mahabir Singh, a homeless man. The defendants, 49-year-old Jan Licorice and 39-year-old Tony Waldron, who are being represented by attorney-at-law Lachmi Rahamat, made their first court appearance in the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Chief Magistrate Ann McLennan. They were not required to plead to the charge and are expected to make their next court appearance on April 19th. It is 12 hours 10 in Guyana, and right across the Eastern Caribbean, we turn our attention to your COVID-19 update. According to World Meter, your COVID-19 cases worldwide stands at 124.4 million. The deaths to date is 2.7 million, with recoveries at 100.4 million. And the Ministry of Health yesterday reported the death of a 69-year-old man from Region 4 as the country's latest COVID-19 fatality. His death has since been recorded as a 216th COVID-19 fatality. Guyana has seen a notable number of COVID-19 deaths being reported in the past 2 weeks, with a new case being recorded almost every day. In just 2 weeks, 15 deaths have been reported, and in the only days in which deaths were not reported were March 12th to 19th. 19 new infections were also reported, 9,668. 11 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU, another 11 in institutional quarantine, 63 in institutional isolation, and 856 in home isolation. Additionally, a total of 8,522 persons have recovered to date, with 24 new recoveries recorded yesterday. And that's the news in the moment. Let's remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at the newsstand near you, or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. After the break, the Glenn Lal Show comes up your way, rather the excerpt of the Glenn Lal Show comes up your way, followed by the National Outlook with GHK Lal, and immediately after that we continue with the rebroadcast of the Glenn Lal Show. Stay with us. This is Kaieteur Radio. I am Joshua Van Slepman, wishing you and your family a great remainder of your Tuesday afternoon, encouraging you to practice social distancing and to wear your face mask.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on